Support staff and non-starters for the Fremont Silverwolves. The athletic director is Corey Mullaney. The athletic trainer is Jared Romero. The assistant coaches, Emily Mueller, Mackenzie Manning, Shelby Haney, Abigail Broadbent, Passion Bone, and Maddie Jensen. The non-starters, Kale Bryan, Callie Hill, Charlie Calder, Canyon Britt, Charlie Hunt, Sierra Eddy, Emma Herrick, Taylor Doxey, Kiara Tinajero, Jalen Coons, Sincere Langston, Cadence King, Kenley Bremser, Sadie Heslop, Kenan James, Jacqueline Tinajero, Beth Packer, and Sienna Sanchez. And now introducing Lone Peak, their managers Aubrey Eggett and Liz Holt. The athletic trainer is Katie Chadwick. The assistant coaches, Kristen Poole, Holly Ika, Channing Tyler, Mikkel Shepherdson. Teams, return to your benches. Excuse me, Katie Lawrence. Players, Taylor Anderson, Meg Eaton, Sam Pope, Kaylee Rich, Sarah Bartholomew, Hayden Erickson. Now return to your benches. Let's meet the starting lineup.
Welcome inside the Marriott Center, the side of the 2022 6A Girls State Championship game. Commentary brought to you by Game Night Live Rewind on KSLSports.com. Dusty Listener with you. We'll be joined by Dane Stewart in just a moment. For the first time in a long time for Lone Peak, their only Girls State Championship is 1999. And Coach Nancy Warner and the Lone Peak Knights are undefeated. They're the #1 team in the RPI coming into the state tournament. And they found their way to the state championship game after building from the quarterfinals to the semifinals down to the championship game. And they are looking to bring home that first championship in girls basketball since 1999. We take a look at Fremont. They are loaded with talent. They have a McDonald's All-American, and Dane will talk about that. This is the reigning 6A state champion. This is another state championship run for Coach Lisa Daleval. As we welcome in my broadcast partner, Dane Stewart. And Dane, the slide in works so well. But this is going to be a lot of fun. Undefeated Lone Peak, undefeated in the state of Utah in Fremont.
Should be a really good one, Dusty. Two teams that have always been making claim as the top team in the state all year long. Fremont, of course, been impressive. Lone Peak been impressive. Different styles will be playing out today. The guard play of Lone Peak, can they establish the outside shooting and keep pace with the post play of Fremont? All the talk about Mendelson, Gardner. It's going to be two different styles, two different roster makeups going head-to-head. It'll be fun to see which one plays out.
Well, it's going to be an absolute blast. So we talk about talent all over the floor. Mendelson and Gardner are going to be interesting. Gardner, the second ever McDonald's All-American in Utah history on the girls' side. And we talk about Kaylee Woolston, how well she'll have to play today to help Lone Peak.
She's going to have to be dialed in. Obviously, one of the best free throw shooters in the history of the state. She's had another great year, but it's got to be the drive. It's got to be the perimeter shooting. This Lone Peak team is probably, I'm going to say, the best, maybe the best three-point shooting team in all of 6A, and they've got to hit those shots consistently to keep up with Fremont. But Kaylee, just a junior, we got another year of her, but at times she can try to get everybody else going. She's got to look to get at least 20 today, I feel like, if Lone Peak wants to walk out of here with the state championship.
Kaylee Woolston will be jumping up against Maggie Mendelson. And then we'll start first with the Fremont Silverwolves and Coach Lisa Daleval, the reigning 6A champions, 3 straight years. We were seeing this as Tamia Gardner goes right out, Nawahine, and scores.
Lone Peak has really good height on the interior. But how do they match up with the physicality and the athleticism of Tamia and Maggie? And I think right there, you go right into Tamia. I love it. Get her engaged, physical at the rim. It's a matchup that heavily favors the Silverwolves.
Ika had that ball poked away from behind. Remember, Michaela Ika scored the game-winning bucket late in the game against Westlake. They're going to lob in to Mendelson. Keeps it high, and it's a 4-0 start. The points coming from Gardner.
Yeah,
Maggie Mendelson.
That's a bit of an uh-oh moment. You try to front, you bring help from behind, and yet that pass still makes its way through to Mendelson, who has a nice finish off the glass.
Woolston will send back up top to Ika. McKaylee from way outside. And there's the equalizer for Lone Peak.
It has to be the equalizer, right? And we talk about a team that shoots so well from long range in the Knights. Over, 36% as a team. And Dusty, Ika, 47%. Woolston, 45%. They've got to shoot at that clip to keep up because, as we've noticed, in the first minute, it's going to be hard to stop on the interior.
Absolutely. Oliver inbounds quickly into Tamia Gardner, and we're going to get a reach-in foul on Ika. Just for a moment, she thought she had the jump ball, but it is a foul on Michaela Ika.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Dusty, feel free to reel me in a little bit. All week, boys and girls, we've seen it get real. I don't want to say loose, but they've allowed a lot of contact.
Yep.
Typically, state championships, they dial it back in, right? So how do you change that element of physicality from what you've grown accustomed to all week here in a championship?
And again, Tamia Gardner, Tamia's coming out aggressive. Remember, she missed the season last year with a knee injury, did not play in the state championship game. As Woolston pulls for three, and we're tied at 6.
Bang, bang, just like that, huh? Ika, Woolston.
They welcome the challenge of these Knights, undefeated on the year. 2 losses for Fremont, both out of state. But a fun note in this game, for the first time ever in state's history, 2 female head coaches, and Coach Lisa De La Valle, Coach Nancy Warner, and then 3 female officials. As that ball is off the mark, picked up by Woolston. Now on the run, Michaela Ika has Bartholomew inside, and there it is. Send back out. Kaylee hit on the 3, and it comes off the front of the iron. The foul will go to Mendelson. It'll be 3 free throws for Woolston. But to finish that thought, our officials today in this girls' championship, Tammy Spencer, Candace Horn, and Courtney Duncan.
I love Bartholomew running the floor there. That's a great way that you can counter some of the post play of Fremont. But the challenge with it is that entry had to be lobbed, and it allowed that defense to recover there for the Silverwolves. That took away the opportunity. But Woolston, I said she's got to be dialed in. She's come out looking, Dusty. I love it.
Yes, and then she knows they have to have her.
Yep.
And the second one is good, and she mentioned so many times, even last year, it broke the state or the national record for free throw percentage. And Kaylee goes 3 of 3. She did miss 1 in the semifinal. I thought the building might come down.
Yeah, I was a little worried we might not make it home that night. 96% last year. She made 104 of 108 attempts.
Inside Tamia Gardner now with 6 points. She had 8 in the semifinals, and those 8 points came in the final minute of the second quarter.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, we've seen this Fremont team, as Bartholomew got trucked there. But we've seen, Fremont has hit some outside shots, but for me, I'm playing easy money right now, right? Yeah. Inside. Maybe a quote-unquote boring game plan, but it's going to be an effective one. Yeah. And I love that they're not trying to overcomplicate things. We know where the matchup opportunity is. We're going to attack it.
Inbound into Woolston. The picket fence nearly worked on the back end.
Yeah.
And down the floor, Fremont looking to reclaim the lead. You got to give it to Bartholomew. He played the role of Rue Baker on that one. She's willing to stand on the tracks of the train coming through. To me, is nicer than Jack Parkman.
Yes.
Lob inside. Tanuvasa missed on the swipe on the back end. And a traveling violation on Mendelson. Wipe off the bucket.
We talked about, I think it was the second possession of the game. They fronted Mendelson. They brought help from behind. Bartholomew, I think, does give you a little more reach. And so they quickly bring her on in a similar strategy there to try to front it. And I couldn't tell if Bartholomew maybe rode Mendelson a little bit. but the turnover there for Fremont gives it back to Lone Peak.
So the Knights looking to build on their 1-point advantage. Of course, fun for Nancy Warner to be back in this building where she played her college basketball. Then Nancy Celius. As Woolston on the drive got into Mendelson. No call there on that contact. Now down the floor with Fremont. Oliver off the move. Stripped from behind by Ika. Nawahine with the ball. Nawahine loses it.
Oh.
No call on those stabs. And Woolston +1.
I don't know how Nawahine got that ball around the defensive recovery. Man, that's a heck of a job. And I'll tell you, I've joked about this at times, but I'm serious. Woolston goes to the line, you just credit her points. On that one, just concede the 2. There's no reason to allow an easy third here for Kaylee. We'll knock on wood in the hopes that we don't jinx her. But Ika, great job forcing that turnover and allowing Lone Peak to get out on the run.
We'll take a look at it just in a second as Woolston at the line. Oh, it's a +1, so 4-point lead now. Try to send that ball up top. Oliver comes off the screen. That one doesn't go. Backside board to Coombs. And Coombs able to lay it up and in.
Great movement there by Coombs to follow it up. Woolston was really locked down on her offensively. And then as that shot went up, Coombs just kind of beat her to the spot. Tried to recover defensively, but the patience there at the rim, able to get the putback.
Woolston. Again, Gardner and Bartholomew banging. Woolston goes after Gardner.
I was going to say Bartholomew might have to be sitting on a donut later tonight because a couple hard hits to the floor, and I expect that to probably continue.
And not going to go anything on that backside contact. It'll be a traveling violation there on Woolston. And the first dead ball under the 4 minute. We were at a TV timeout. 3:38 left in the first quarter. Lone Peak up 12-10 early in the 6A Girls Championship game on KSLSports.com.
Ladies.
How the backcourt fills in. So I am shocked about how the backcourt fills in above the tunnel. Might have caught that on a live mic coming back in. Dusty Litzer, Dane Stewart with you. Mia Austin pass up the 3. Shot it well in the first quarter on Wednesday. Or probably that was Thursday's. Tanu Vasa. Not sure the question there from Naya, but I'm guessing Naya, Tanu Vasa, gotta be related to, she's got a football family, at least rugby blood. Never shy away a little bit of contact there. There's Callie Hill. Hands back to Oliver. Nawahine out there with her. Nawahine able to come through the screen of Gardner. Send cross court to Hill. Trying to find that ball inside to Mendelson. Good job by Bartholomew. Woolston with the flyby, and Hill lays it up and in.
You talk about Bartholomew, just a sophomore, and played a lot against Skyridge, did not play much in the semifinal against Harriman. And you can tell already she's going to be a critical factor as they're trying to negate that entry from Mendelson. She's done a really good job since coming on here for Lone Peak.
Tonavasa out to Kaylee. Wilson. That's a long two. She left it short. Tip back into Bartholomew. Sarah looked that strong to be a Gardner. Tips that in to Oliver. And the Mendelson send out Mia Austin. Oh, the three won't go to rebound to Bartholomew.
Those were shots that Fremont has hit in this tournament. Talk about all the inside, but they do have good shooters from the outside as well.
And Woolston, we talk about, she started real quick, and that time was just caught in the corner. Ball went off her head. She was shooting before she caught it.
Also in for 32, Kaylee Rich.
So McKaylee Ika comes back on. She had a three, the first points of the day for the Knights, because we're tied at 12. Both teams undefeated in the state of Utah. As Mendelson backs in on Rich. Fall away, +1 for Maggie Mendelson.
All the talk about Gardner being physical, and she is. But Maggie Mendelson, we've mentioned in this tournament, her improvement last year to this is very visible, very apparent. And that's one of those areas, right, where I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to get to the rim, draw contact. It gives the lead back here to the Silverwolves.
We mentioned a bunch of times, spent the summer on the junior national team. You see the growth. Here comes McKaylee Ika. McKaylee leaves that for Rich. Kaylee has it, trapped on the baseline, and a jump ball. Good job by Ken and James coming over and tying her up. And we'll stay here with Lone Peak.
Rich, a sophomore as well, so some Tonavasa, a sophomore. So some youth going to get some very valuable experience here today for Lone Peak going up against these Fremont posts.
Well, remember, Lone Peak's all underclassmen minus Nawahine.
Yep.
As Tonavasa sends out Teula. Trying a little pocket pass there to Rich. Ball hits the deck. Woolston. Is she getting charged for the foul? It does on the loose ball.
Lone Peak faithful don't like that one.
In for Lone Peak, number 3.
Interesting, no less.
Yeah, I thought that was not a quick call, but I think we've seen plays like that go uncalled. I think it just speaks again to it's a championship game, so it gets reeled back in a little bit.
James gets that to Mendelson in the top of the post. Mendelson goes at Bartholomew, can't get it. And then another reach-in foul down low.
It's a small sample size, but even in this first quarter, Bartholomew has been the best matchup on Mendelson.
Yeah, Bartholomew's answered the bell.
Yeah.
As Rich will come back on for Ika. Oliver. And you can inbound the backcourt to Mia Austin. I think she forgot they had double dribble. She was like, well, I was trying to pass that back, but.
Well, and it was one where she didn't have to play that in the front court. She could have let it go back, and I think just had a mental lapse for a moment there, tried to save it and ended up with the double dribble there. And I thought that was the right call there.
Yeah, it may have seemed awkward, but even at a pass, as she grabs it, that's a dribble.
Yeah.
Once she terminates it. Send out Naya Tonavasa off on the three. She can shoot it well as Rich tracks that down.
Great hustle by Kaylee.
As Woolston goes back to Kaylee Rich. Trying to get that in, and nice job by Ken and James. Comes around for the interception.
She's had good minutes for Fremont all week long in this tournament as well, as they've given Gardner and Mendelson breaks at moments.
A little disjointed here as they close out the first quarter.
That's such a crisp start, huh?
Yeah. I think adrenaline either gets you play a little frenetic, and sometimes it focuses you up, and then you settle in and you have these little waves. You get to see Shawnee Nordstrom be able to get a shot off. You know that's coming. Usually in a critical moment. You see the ball will get scrambled around. I'll somehow end up in Three's hands for a big shot. There's Shawnee, sends that ball out. Kanavasa pass up to Three. Woolston will back it out. Kaylee.
Really trying to make this zone work here.
Nordstrom, good hands by Oliver. Is Shawnee going to get
foul?
He'll draw the foul there on Oliver.
Yeah, saying that she came on top of her.
Fremont, number 1, Ashley Oliver, her first 14th foul.
9 fouls in this first quarter, so something to watch. We'll be taking free throws and opportunities for teams to stay tight or pull away.
When we talk about the shooting change of venue, is Shawnee Nordstrom off on the 3. 15 seconds left.
Good look. You saw that defense drift out with her. She recognizes, cuts right back in, gets an open look.
5 seconds. Austin. Good defense. Open 3 for Oliver. And that's how the first quarter will come to a close. 2 unbeaten teams in the state of Utah doing battle. And it's a 15-12 lead for Fremont. You're watching the 2022 6A Girls State Championship game on KSLSports.com. Commentary brought to you by Game Night Live Rewind.
Ladies and gentlemen, signs are prohibited.
Welcome back in. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart. Dane, that was a fast start to the first quarter. End of it a little clunky. As Gardner finds a ball inside. Oh, late whistle going to be called on Woolston. Be number 2 on Kaylee, but a close first quarter nonetheless.
Yeah, I really love the fight that Lone Peak came out with, right? A couple early threes. They've shown that, hey, we know it's going to be physical. We expect it. Can they withstand it for the duration of 32 minutes? We'll find out. But that outside shot, can you maintain making enough of them to stay within grasp? They hit a couple early, had a 3-point play from Woolston. Other than that, I don't think they made one after that.
No, they haven't.
And so, can you get back on track? It is the great equalizer, but only if you can convert it.
She and Eco in back-to-back possessions. As James was 1 of 2, and the board goes all the way out to Fremont. And a chance for Fremont to increase his lead to 7 of the 3 ball. Hill all the way to the rim, blocked from behind by Bartholomew. And we're going to have a charge down low. That's going to go on Tamia Gardner as Woolston.
I thought Gardner lowered the shoulder there.
Yeah.
It's legal guarding position. Contact initiated offensively. I don't have a problem with that call.
Coach Taylor would disagree. Oh, number 2 on Tamia. Coach Taylor would disagree. If the rule was different, I would totally agree. As Teula Nawahine brings that across. Nawahine. Into the corner, Woolston for 3. Just crawls off Bartholomew with the board and bucket.
Great offensive board by Bartholomew. And a good look for Kaylee from the corner, right? I mean, you're able to get that open shot for one of your better shooters, leading scorer.
That shot won't keep missing if she stays that open.
Right.
Mendelson fights through the double team, double dribble. Coach Taylor I think it's a championship game. Lisa's into it.
Yeah. We were down on the floor ahead of time, and I didn't see her come out till about 4 or 5 minutes to go. No. Like, she is locked in.
Man, Nancy was in a zen-like mood. Nancy Warner was super calm.
The sweater's back. I figured that you would.
I should have pointed that out, but I didn't want to, say, hey, I'm paying attention to your fashion.
Yeah.
As we're tied at 16.
Bartholomew again, and I'll tell you, if Lone Peak can get buckets on the interior, you see the nice drive, a little handoff. If you can do that, then Lone Peak, all of a sudden, you don't become desperate on those threes, right? They become more situational as opposed to your life support.
Austin off the mark, rebound to Nordstrom. Here's Nawahine, sent out to Woolston. Naya Tanuvasa. Lone Peak missing threes, they don't miss.
I really like the ball movement from Lone Peak right now, though, right? It's not selfish, it's drive, it's ball movement, and his extra passes to get an open look, they just haven't hit them from long range.
Austin sends out to Kenan James. Kenan goes inside. Mismatch here. Mendelson. And
Number 21.
the lobbying and a couple possessions paid off there for Fremont.
Yeah, Tanavasa just picked up her second. Wolfson also has 2.
2 shots.
I mentioned Gardner had the 2. She went to the bench. Warner does have a substitution coming on here in Ika.
So Maggie hits the first.
But it will be for Nordstrom. So Coach Warner here leaving some of her key players on the floor here with a pair.
And Maggie goes 2 of 2. Lone Peak doesn't run a deep bench. I don't know, about 7 players. As Nawahine sends that up to Bartholomew. Here's Ika. There's McKaylee. Come near side, Tanuvasa. Woolston, baseline jumper. That's what she needed to do. Come in a little bit, get some rhythm. Kaylee knocks it down.
Yeah, and you see that ball movement up high and the quick pass as they had brought one of the shooters to the angle, and that pulled the wing out, allowed Woolston to fill that baseline from 15. He would turn around and hit it.
Such a pretty shot from Kaylee Wilson. The only person might be, that ball's tipped. And that's off the leg of Austin, but picked up by Tanuvasa. The only shot I put on top of it would be Kemry Martin, as that ball's tipped and taken away. Only one. And then Morgan Warburton.
I can't believe a Carbon Dino lost in ranking in Dusty's mind.
Morgan's in the building. Is that ball jump ball on the baseline? Not in Morgan, but Chelsea Warburton. Are in the building. They're the coaching tandem at USU Eastern, more lovingly known as CEU.
But legally known as...
Not in my heart. Scotty Brines, Harold Arsenault, and Eddie Gill would agree. Oh, that ball goes through the legs of Nordstrom. Man. 3-car pileup. And here comes the trap from the backside. I think they had a travel before the foul. But I didn't have the foul call nonetheless.
I think in that case, you probably have the pressure causing the foul or causing the travel. And thus, you call the foul because what it generates.
That's number 3 on Tanuvasa.
Oof. So we talked about Coach Warner kind of rolling the dice a bit, and that comes back to bite. Tanuvasa going to have to come off.
Number 10, Joella Nawahine. For Fremont, number 30, Tamia Gardner.
So Tamia Gardner going to come back on. They saw the exchange with Bartholomew also off the floor. So Rich and Nawahine are going to play the 4-5 against Gardner and Mendelson. And Bartholomew is going to come off the bench because that's not a matchup you can live with if you're Nancy Warner.
Yep.
Back in for Loki, Sarah Bartholomew.
So Ika will come off the floor as Bartholomew comes on. And Oliver hits her free throws and back to a 2-point advantage for Fremont. Ooh, near steal off the inbound. Shawnee Nordstrom. There's Nawahine, goes into Rich. Kaylee.
Ooh, missed her on the wing. She was coming down late on that rotation. Fremont didn't have anyone there.
And they try to throw that in along the baseline, taken away by Fremont. Here comes Oliver. And then a steal by Nordstrom. Shawnee on the run, Tamia giving chase. And the Kiwi lays that one up and in.
Great job by Shawnee. I thought she might have dribbled herself under the rim a little too far, but love the aggressiveness there defensively. Again, Lone Peak is showing there up to the task defensively every bit.
Eddie doesn't get it. The rebound taken by Rich. Here comes Woolston. Got Nawahine. Teula goes up and gets that pass. Shawnee was waiting on the trail. Nawahine saying out. Nordstrom back to Nawahine. Fremont's dodged some 3-point bullets in the last 2 possessions.
Yeah, they wanted to travel a little bit earlier, too. Might have gotten away with one. It was awfully close.
Nordstrom off on the 3 and a rebound to Gardner. Nice contest there by Oliver. She may got a piece of it. Mendelson at Bartholomew, step around and scores.
Love the recognition there. Lone Peak's getting back and Sarah's rushing, but the problem is it just never really allows you to find your defensive rhythm. And Mendelson going right at it.
22-20. You're watching the 6A state championship on KSLSports.com. So out of the timeout, Lone Peak ball. As that ball off the mark, taken by Mendelson. Sorry about that glitch. The ball was off the mark off the full court press there from Fremont.
Preston.
You know,
it's state championship Saturday.
He's this close to losing his Twitter privileges. So Mia Austin comes back on and see if he's learned his lesson. There's Austin at the line. Misses the free throw. And that's the last one-on-one. That's the 19th foul on the Knights. As Bartholomew left alone, a little strong, and then they're going to have a loose ball foul on Lone Peak, and that will be marching all the way down the floor, and 2 free throws for Maggie Mendelson.
When Bartholomew gets that ball, high post, turns around, kind of surprised she's unguarded. So I feel like that shot maybe got rushed a little bit because you're trying to seize the opportunity, right? But
now on the double bonus,
is off target. And
2 shots.
Well, if you're going to seize your moment, you got to take your time, or someone will take the moment away from you. There's first free throw good by Mendelson.
Returning to Lone Peak, number 4.
There's a great animated documentary about seizing your moment.
I'll take your word for it.
Lister kids watch it all the time.
Scooby-Doo.
Coco. So, Mendelson continues to light it, or hit her free throws. Having a great day. Maggie Mendelson, 11 points, leading. Well, she and Woolston both with 11. Zika hands back to Kaylee. Been a minute since Kaylee been able to go offensively. That pass was tough to Shawnee Nordstrom. And Fremont has had 4-point leads. As they try to get inside, Nordstrom and Tamia Gardner, and now the foul trouble piling up. That is the first, though, on Shawnee.
I think she had that off arm wrapped around the body of Gardner. The official right there to call it. I thought the right call.
Yeah.
And look, you're trying to be physical. You're trying to deny that paint, but it's what makes Fremont so difficult to deal with is to do that legally when you're undersized. Good luck.
Mouse in the house.
Yeah.
There's Tamia Gardner heading to Oregon State. Takes both their free throws. And Kenan James will come back on as protecting Gardner with her fouls. She has 2. Here comes McKaylee Ika. Had the game winner on Thursday. Poked away from behind by Oliver.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Aim small, miss small.
I used that at work last week, actually. It went over quite well.
It's a good movie. That ball's out of bounds by Coombs. If you know the movie, hit us up on Twitter at GNL Rewind. Working on a sponsor for that.
We tried reaching out to Paramount. They didn't respond. I don't get it.
I'm waiting, yeah. Paramount, we're working that out. As much as I give them run on Godfather quotes, they deserve, we're owed a sponsorship. They go inside to Bartholomew. Get a foul. Bartholomew and
she took one up high.
Yeah. And Coombs banged into each other.
Is the Springville dentist still here?
Right. So Kayla Poirier at Springville took an elbow after making a shot in her elbow to the tooth. It knocked her tooth back. Then she told us what happened.
Yeah, a dentist came down from the stands and put that thing back in. I was like, I didn't realize this was like a separated shoulder. All of a sudden, we're like,
as Kaylee Wilson, her first points of the second quarter.
I feel like Kaylee, again, we said she's got to get in the 20s. She's got to find ways to get her shot going here for Lone Peak.
Outside with Coombs. Wilson's got to be safe with 2 fouls. And Bartholomew able to get her hands on it. Mendelson, and we're going to get a legs foul there on Bartholomew. That'll be number 2 on Sarah Bartholomew. It'll be 2 more free throws coming the way of Maggie Mendelson.
Yeah, trying to be aggressive. Just ends up getting caught, and she's still kind of checking her mouth to make sure that she's good after taking that pop up high, but now 2 on Bartholomew. Ika, Woolston, Ridge, Bartholomew, all with 2.
Now Wahine will come back on.
And 3 for who picked up 3? Is it Nawahine? She just came on. Tanavasa, that's right. Thank you.
So Maggie again got the first and the second. The future Cornhusker, Maggie Mendelson. I haven't heard if she's going to play both volleyball and basketball in Lincoln. There's a 6-point lead for Fremont and Lone Peak.
It's an aggressive move. Bring that trap up to half court.
Ika, that's where she hit the 3 in the first quarter. Didn't get it there, and then she picks up the foul. Number 3 on McKaylee Ika. The junior going to pick up the foul. And again, we'll walk to the other end of the floor. And it's going to be Mia Austin shooting the free throws.
Free throws right now really helping Fremont.
That's how this first half is closed and building this lead. Austin yet to get on the board today. Those 3 threes in the first quarter in the semifinals. The halftime was the only thing that cooled her off. So Katie Lawrence going to come on the floor for the first time as McKaylee Ika got him to come off the floor with the foul trouble. And the second crawls off as Rich has the board. And again, wait for Shawnee Nordstrom also to get going. So Lone Peak has some bullets left. But the foul trouble is going to be a big thing in the second half.
Ika's still on the... No, she came off. Sorry. She was on the scoreboard. So
she came off in favor of Lawrence.
Yep.
Woolston popped to the corner. And that's out of bounds off of Oliver. Is Kaylee Woolston. Shots on line.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. You're kind of fading away on that step back. Hard to get fully into that shot. Another one just won't crawl over the front of the rim.
On the other end, off the miss, Coombs. She lets the flyby, and then they'll call. We're going to have a foul on Kenan James on that rebound. Let's see if we caught the back end of this. Just missed it. But did think. Well, that's a loose ball foul. We're marching the other end, shooting 1-on-1, yeah. That's the 17th foul on Fremont. So 1-on-1 free throws coming to Kaylee Rich, I believe. Oh, Kaylee Woolston.
Still talking here.
Yeah, I thought it was on
a shooter.
It should be Rich at the line.
Coach Jalen is calling all the officials over. Hey, come here, come here, come here.
Yeah, it's Kaylee. Yeah, timeout on the floor, but it should be Kaylee Rich at the line. So we'll see what they get that right. So we'll take the timeout with them. 37 seconds left. You're watching the 6A championship.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Then they got it right. So Wilson will not be taking these. It will be Kaylee Rich. The front end of 1-on-1 for Rich. Fremont has buried their free throws in this first half. And off the mark on the front end. Corey Mullaney told us, you work on your free throws, you miss them sometimes as a team, and sometimes you don't, all of a sudden you make them all. They send to the corner. Mia Austin off on the three. The rebound on the backside to Hill with 20 seconds left.
Did a great job of boxing out, but Hill kind of slithered around and able to snag it.
Oliver, the trap comes. 8 seconds. Coombs on the drive. Gets at the Hill on the baseline, and Callie Hill lays it in. And that'll do it for the first half. Fremont builds a 9-point lead. Reigning champions looking to go back-to-back. Fremont 31, Lone Peak 22. You're watching the 6A state championship game on KSLSports.com. And welcome back into the Marriott Center. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you here. Game Night Live Rewind. And Dane, that first half, with the way that both teams wanted to go, fouls were kind of the thing down the stretch.
It became a big storyline down the stretch, right? And you look at where that first half ended for Lone Peak. You've got 3 on Ika, you've got 3 on Tanabasa, and you've got a handful with 2. Lone Peak made their first 2 threes of the game. We said they were going to have to shoot the ball well from beyond the arc. They didn't make another one the rest of the first half. They've got to dial in that long ball if they want to come back. And Dustin, you look at free throw shooting, 4 of 5 for Lone Peak in the first half, 13 of 16 for Fremont. Wow. They are winning the line right now. You talk about the fouls, that played out of the line. You've got to keep Fremont off the line here in this second half.
Maggie Mendelson was 7 of 7. And that's an X factor. Shawnee Nordstrom, 4-3. She didn't get enough shots, in my opinion, in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, she took 3. 2 of them were from long range. and she didn't make either of her attempted threes in the first half. Good note for Lone Peak that she hits one to come out of half number 2.
Mendelson knows Tanuvasa is playing with 3. Goes right at her. And able to get that tough shot to drop. You got Ika and Tanuvasa both with 3 fouls. Woolston, that starting the third like they started the first. 2 threes, and it's a 5-point game.
It's got to be that right end is an easier shooting end. I'm just teasing because we were down there before. Both ends actually appear very similar.
But I tell you what, when the air conditioning kicks on, for whatever reason, that ball moves out of the corner. I'm joking. As Michaela Ika can't get that one to go, and 7-point lead. (35-28), 6:34 left in the 6A Girls Championship game. As it's Tamia Gardner, goes at Kaylee Woolston. And a traveling violation. I think it's the right call. It wasn't going to be a block on Woolston or a charge. So, turnover, back down the floor with Lone Peak.
I love the way that Lone Peak has come out in this second half, Dusty. I think defensively they appear to kind of relock back in. Offensively, a couple good looks early on.
And Austin with the steal on the inbound. Try to go inside. Ika couldn't get to that ball.
You got to allow the defense to set up. You've got a mismatch on the inside right now because of that.
And it's Mendelson open for 3. Maggie rattles it in.
They were trying to get realigned, and it left Mendelson open for 3, and no one closed out on it. The only person that really could was Bartholomew, but she had Gardner in the paint. So open look, Maggie hits it. 18 for Maggie. Man, what a game.
Kaylee Woolston sends up top to Michaela Ika. Ika hands off to Nordstrom. Shawnee way outside. A little long. Rebound tipped out. Tracked down by Ika. Nawahine. She hits a 3.
Kind of wondering, and I don't know if it's just the deficit. Is it becoming 3 or bust right now for Lone Peak? It's been a very focused offense or opportunistic for them in this half number 2.
Maggie, man, that was online from the corner. Jump ball, possession will belong to Lone Peak.
How about Bartholomew? Again, getting a hand in there on Gardner and just not going to give her anything easy, and the arrow will send it.
We've seen some young players grow up this week. Bartholomew's playing as aggressive or more aggressive than we've seen her play all year long, especially down in the post. She's risen to the occasion, going up against the All-American and Tamia Gardner and Maggie Mendelson. Doesn't mean she's holding either one of them down at anything, but she's rising up to the occasion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. She appears to have the best matchup, both from a length and the physicality standpoint in this one. That's not to say she's a better player than the others.
Right.
It's just different strengths. We talked about she did not play a lot against Terraman. That matchup wasn't favorable. Today it has been.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, you know, Mendelson and Gardner have combined for over 20. I mean, over 25. It's like, well, yeah, but, I mean, you know, there's an asterisk.
They're going to get that anyway.
Right.
Unless it was against Westlake for whatever reason on Thursday. And the one thing we talked about with Coach Warner and said, hey, the only thing you can't adjust from Thursday to today is length. You can't get taller, right? As Wilson short on the jump, right out of bounds off of Mendelson, and will stay here.
They did try. I mean, I heard they were doing some home remedies, you know, hanging upside down from doorways and, you know, not standing, you know, just staying, you know, lateral. I'm teasing.
Couldn't get that one to drop. Down the floor we go with Fremont. Lone Peak hanging right in there. But Fremont right in that danger zone. When they get you 7 points, all of a sudden you look up and it's 15. Ask Westlake. Here comes Hill. Callie sends back up top to Mia Austin. Lob inside. Mendelson sends out Oliver. Now to the corner, Hill for three, got it. Callie Hill.
You go inside with Maggie, a triple team collapses down, a quick pass out, a skip pass, and the defensive rotation just doesn't have time to close it out.
Nawahine, second three of the quarter. Heaven sent three. It was about ready to snowball.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see Lone Peak come out with these threes in the second half, but when Fremont is matching them or initiating it, it's like, oh boy, is it going to be enough?
Timeout taken by Fremont. 3:13 left in the third. You're watching the 2022 6A Girls State Championship game.
The UH Turning for Fremont, number 30, Tamia Gardner.
Tamia Gardner comes back on the floor for Coach Dale about out of the timeout. Dusty Lidster, Dane Stewart with you. And Fremont up 7. Lone Peak's been battling Nawahine with 2 threes in the quarter as Gardner misses on that one. The rebound, and that went in the hands of Callie Hill. She's got magnets in her hands today, but she just couldn't squeeze that one. Ika, nice move past Mendelson, a little strong off the window.
That's when you know that you're always second guessing that height, right? We saw Ika made a similar runner in the lane to beat Harriman, and that one just comes off the glass high, almost like you're expecting there to be contest.
Gardner missed out that little jumper, extra rebound, or extra possession off the rebound. Mendelson with Nawahine. Maggie can go to work, loses the handle. Tamia with Bartholomew. Gets to switch to Nawahine. Tamia. Good defense by Teula, and there's a travel. Nawahine wouldn't back down. She went full Tom Petty.
And, you know, look, I know what the score is. I feel like Lone Peak, mentally, they're good to go.
Right.
I mean, I think they've shown great fight, great battle. Now, you could argue they maybe been outsized in the paint. Yeah, they are, right? But there's not been a lack of desire or effort in trying to defend some of the posts here from Fremont.
I mean, if it wasn't for bonus free throws at the end of the half,
right?
And there's no, that's the ifs and buts for Kenya Nuts kind of thing, because that happened. There's Nordstrom long on the little runner, couldn't get it. Bartholomew from the floor, hasn't been her days. Hill loses the handle. Ika to Nordstrom. Shawnee leaves it back. Ika has to pump the three. And a great job of recovering on the scramble here by the Fremont Silverwolves. Rich out to Ika. McKaylee, 4 threes.
Boy, McKaylee was even leaning a little forward. I didn't know if she'd be able to hit that or not, but great job there by Ika. Dusty, somehow this game within 2 possessions.
Hey, like Eve 6. Put their heart in the blender. Watch it spin around.
I was thinking inside out.
Maggie Mendelson comes back with the bucket. 20 points for Maggie.
What a game.
It's kind of what you get. Gardner has so much skill, and you show up, and Mendelson just has been spectacular this week. She'd make a run. If it wasn't for Taya Sidbury, you'd say, well, maybe Ms. Basketball. As Woolston rattles home at mid-range J.
A lot of really good players that you could think about with Ms. Basketball. But you're right. I mean, I think Maggie's been spectacular this week. And how about Gardner? Doesn't even move the net.
You think Coach Dale about liked that 3? Everybody fired up in the Marriott Center. Timeout on the floor. We'll be right back.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Welcome back in. Lone Peak going to have to bounce back from that fireball from Tamia Gardner. Nearly with the steal, and does come up with the steal. Gardner hit it. Austin picks it up.
She makes a big offensive play and then a big defensive play, Dusty. Fremont lineup, so loaded.
That won't go. Tanu Vasa with the board. Ooh, she may got away with double dribble.
Yeah, I thought they were both hands on the ball there.
Nawahine sent out Ika.
Ooh.
Plus one! Michaela Ika will go to the line to make it a 6-point game.
Talking about Michaela on that prior 3 was kind of leaning in. You see there as well as Ed Mendelson was coming to close out. Ika didn't come into her, but I think Mendelson was just unfamiliar with the shot of Ika and ends up getting her up high.
Second team foul at the line for the rare 4-point opportunity, Michaela Ika.
Can pull us to one possession here, Dusty.
So Ika makes it a 4-point play. 3-point game. 3 seconds. 2. And Oliver lost where she was on the floor. No, she got it off. And that will do it for the third quarter. But it's Michaela Ika. As time running down, it's a 4-point play. You're watching the 2022 6A Girls State Championship game on KSLSports.com. Start of the fourth quarter. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart with you. And Lone Peak climbs right back into this one.
Yeah, that 4-point play is huge. See what they can do defensively here, because, again, we've seen Gardner and Mendelson combine 33 today, and a foul here called on Bartholomew as Gardner was trying to post her up.
We've talked about all week is this consistency. We'll see where that goes. It wasn't like I was watching 45 on that one, but we've got banging all week long. As Gardner, now Wahine's arm was there. Gardner will go to the line for the free throws.
At the line for 2 shots, number 30, Tamia Gardner.
Well, what a tough draw there from Tuila Dawahine, who had to deal with Tamia Gardner in the post.
And for Fremont, number 21, Allie Coombs.
So Allie Coombs comes back on as Callie Hill will come off the floor. And both free throws good as Fremont, Dane, they're not missing opportunities. You put them at the line and they're going down.
Yeah, they've been solid today. From the line, that's still the differentiator. It's still got to be close to a double-digit difference just in terms of the execution from the line. Second half threes have helped Lone Peak close that down.
And Nordstrom lost the handle, got it back. Now Wahine to the corner. Woolston, 4-3. Not going to stay cool all night.
You mentioned it, Dusty. You don't want to give her those looks. She'll eventually start to hit them, and that one is huge for the Knights.
Up top via Austin.
Boy, they were late getting that ball to Austin. Had defense got caught up in the screen.
And now a chance to tie the game for Lone Peak. They got numbers. Now Wahine. Oh, great shot there by Oliver. Woolston, and now the foul. This foul will be charged to Allie Coombs. What a defensive play, and dang, down 10 to Fremont. You don't see teams come back like this a lot.
Not against Fremont.
No.
It's been impressive. And, for Lone Peak, they had a battle in the semi, right? They were up on Harriman came out early. They fought back. They went up. Harriman came back. And Lone Peak has had some battles, even in region play. And so they've shown their battle tested. They're not going to back down.
Now Wahine, long on the three. She was dying for that ball. She was up the whole possession as Bartholomew hit the foul.
She's going to argue that she was the one that got her arm tangled, but official sees that differently. That's number 4 here on Sarah.
Number 4 on Sarah Bartholomew.
She's clearly been the best defender in the paint for Lone Peak. What do you do? She's staying on here. 6:41 to go. Rich to the table, but it's too late for this whistle. If I'm Fremont, this shot does not come from outside the paint. I'm going right at Bartholomew.
And Bartholomew with the block.
Great defensive play. Sarah here going to come off. I think it's the right decision.
Agree, got to save that foul.
Yep.
So Tamia Gardner will come back on. We'll try to take advantage of Bartholomew coming off along with.
Exactly, there's the chess match.
Tanuvasa with 3 fouls. As feet got tangled up. See if we get a look at it.
I thought that was the right call.
We'll see if we can scrub her back, Preston. Tough one, tough timing there for Tanuvasa. As there's a steal. Nordstrom.
Go at it.
Series of moves and a finish. Shawnee Nordstrom.
We saw just a couple plays ago, they had hesitated to attack. They were waiting for reinforcements, ended up not getting a look. This time, get on the run. You've got defense out of position, and the finish.
Look at all the moves. All the right moves for Shawnee Nordstrom. Timeout on the floor, 6:07. I would stay here, 30-second timeout. Second game of 4 on the day, and Dane, what a response from Lone Peak to come back, and we talk about it, to come back in this one, not down 10 points, but now with a chance tied at 48 in this fourth quarter, the medal, both these teams ready to go.
Yeah, it's been really impressive. You talk about Lone Peak coming out. I think they've been refocused defensively, right? And obviously the 3 ball has helped them. They've not sent Fremont to the line near as much. We talked about in that first half how many of their points for Fremont came from the line. They've continued to do a good job on Maggie and on Tamia, right? They really haven't. I mean, they've got 35-ish. I think last check it was 33 combined. So they're in the mid-30s combined. But on the other side of that, they really haven't allowed Fremont to hit many threes. So a lot of that's been inside play, and the three balls allowed them to catch up and to hang with and to come back on the number 2 Silverwolves team.
Well, it's interesting. We talked to someone at the half, and they said, well, you're obviously taking with the 3 and live with what's going to happen on the inside, and it's worked itself out in the wash. Be able to knock down 3 balls. Tawila and Nawahine, probably our best shooting day we've had. And we've seen a lot of Lone Peak girls basketball this year. Knocks down 3 threes in the third quarter.
Yeah, the big question to me is going to be, do they have enough time, or do they have enough fouls left? Tanavasa with 4, Bartholomew with 4, Rich has 2. So amongst your posts, you have combined 5 fouls to give over the last 6 minutes. You know Fremont, if they go down, they're going to go down with their best players, who is Maggie and Tamia. So this ball is going to work through the paint, and do you have enough to keep your players on the floor against the posts of Fremont?
Inside Mendelson.
And immediately, it's where I'd go to.
Yep. And that ball's out of bounds off of Coombs, the Fremont bench arguing for something. Not going to get it.
I think they're saying it might have been deflect. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what coach is saying. That you were right here. You saw a double touch. As Nawahine get back to Ika. McKaylee. And now you have the touch foul up top there on Mia Austin. 14 fouls apiece.
Her first 14 foul.
As Ika goes to Nawahine. Lone Peak looking to tie or take the lead with the 3. Teula out to Nordstrom. Shawnee back to Nawahine. Ika. And Lone Peak going to take their time. Normally don't see them run longer sets. And Nordstrom has a poked away from behind by Oliver. Now on the run.
Crafty defensive play there. Great job recognizing, even though you're beat, you've got an opportunity to knock that away.
Gardner goes to the left hand, and a great finish by Tamia. Wilson had to be smart. She doesn't want to get into foul trouble either. She's got 2.
Yeah, I think that's one where the length of Tamia's finishing that around Kaylee, regardless of what she does, right? And it goes back to a point earlier. You'd rather give up 2, not 3. So if you get beat, all right, you've got an opportunity to go down and execute on the offensive end and try to match it.
Nordstrom back up top to Ika. McKaylee, Nawahine, another 3! Teula Nawahine!
They continue to stay in this zone, and that time the dribble penetration brings help down. The kick out is there, and it's an open look for Nawahine.
1-point game as we are halfway. Wait a minute. Now halfway through. Gardner, back rim. Oh, the loose ball in the hands of Coombs, and Fremont unable to take advantage.
Really fortunate there for Lone Peak, Dusty. I mean, Mendelson is trying to get that rebound. She ends up on the floor, and that ball dribbles between 3 Lone Peak defenders, and Fremont throws it away.
The Lone Peak with a chance to take the lead. Timeout, Nancy Warner. The 3 ball's been the equalizer, and it has been the lone senior for Lone Peak in the second half. 3 3-pointers for Teula Nawahine. You're watching the 2022 6A championship game.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
3:50 left in the fourth quarter. A perfect season on the line for Lone Peak, and for Fremont, a chance to go back-to-back in 6A. They have not lost to a team in the state of Utah. And Lone Peak has not lost at all.
Fremont has not lost to a team from the state of Utah since the championship game 2 years ago.
To Bingham. Wow. Teula hands back. Wilson. Short on the three. Gets her own board. Goes back in. +1. Wilson going to the line.
Oh, that ball comes back to Kaylee. And she goes right at Maggie. What a finish by Wilson. Her best performance now in the state playoffs, coming in the state championship. And that is true, by the way. I looked it up.
Verified. And rolls in the free throw and a 2-point lead for the Knights. The defending champs down 2. And we're going to have a foul on Kaylee Rich away from the ball. She and Mendelson battling for that low block position.
Each team with one more foul to give. Mendelson having 4. Personals.
Oh, right.
Sorry, if you said that, I missed it.
No, I didn't. Mendelson with 4. Gardner with 2. Inbound in. Coombs. She was the last person on the floor. And a timeout taken by Coach Lisa Dale about 3:03 left in this one. We wanted a good championship game. We thought it'd be a good championship game. Well, folks, it is a good one. 3 minutes left of the 6A girls season. We'll be right back. .303 left in the 6A girls state championship game. Dusty Lidster, Dane Stewart with you. Reset here, as you can see on the screen. Both teams with 2 timeouts, both with 5 fouls. Possession arrow belongs to Lone Peak. And a game like this, as always, important. There's Michaela Ika dribbling up top. Remember, no shot clock in Utah High School basketball. Lone Peak could dribble this thing all the way down if they so chose. I don't know that that's what they're looking to do. They didn't want to shorten the game down, though. Especially with the 5 team fouls. They got Bartholomew with 4. You have Tanuvasa with 3. Of course, she's got 4.
Somewhere Paiute understands.
It's Panguitch, too.
Oh, was it Panguitch instead of Paiute?
Panguitch Valley,
okay.
yeah.
All right. I was thinking Paiute Valley.
Well,
My bad.
You're right. And that was the whole game.
Right.
Yeah, was it 18-15 final score, something like that?
Yeah.
But did have a player reach double figures in that game. As Lone Peak going to draw this out. Remember, next year we'll have a 35-second shot clock. And I don't like the rule. I don't like that you could do it. I don't like the rule. I understand it.
Look, Dusty, you have yet to say the phrase.
I did. No shot clock in Utah High School basketball.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear it.
Yeah, that was the preamble to my thoughts there.
All right. I know you're a big Coach Warner fan, so I just, I'm an equal opportunity.
And I'm equal opportunity with that. All over him, the foul from behind. Not the worst thing in the world for Fremont.
Not at all.
The foul I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Called on it. They want the ball back, good or bad. 6.
Exactly, right? So now, if they go into it again and you don't want it, you can foul if it hits a player that you feel comfortable sending to the line.
Dale about, I mean, she's out at the Marriott Center logo.
I'll tell you this. We've seen her run track. She's quick out of the block. Yes. I mean, she went from the coaching box to the baseline like that to get that last time out. So
she's pretty good in the 400. We've seen that. She didn't want us to air it, but we can share it as we wind down to the final minute in the girls' 6A season. And again, you dislike it. It's going away at the end of this year. Again, the foul situation and the way that Fremont shot free throws, I don't like they could do it, but I understand.
Here's the other side of it. Role reversal. What would be the case?
Yeah, you foul. Yeah. Ika hands back to Nawahine. Now Ika.
And you can always come up and defend it. You can try to trap it. You can try to speed it up. There are things you can do. We've seen that. It's why we have not become fans of this, right?
Yeah.
But
now the foul going to be given by Oliver.
Timeout.
Oh, timeout to Nancy Warner. Well, how about that? Even better. We'll be right back. 26 seconds left. Coming down here in the girls' 6A season. .26 seconds left in the girls' 6A state championship game. 2 timeouts left for Fremont, 1 for Lone Peak. Again, possession arrow belongs to Lone Peak as well. That is a perfect season on the line for the Knights. Last game for Mendelson and Gardner at Fremont, looking to go back-to-back in 3 out of 4 years. .15 seconds. Shawnee Nordstrom terminates and out to Ika. Woolston. Ika with 5. Heaves it. That ball's loose off of Woolston.
I was surprised she took a shot so early, Dusty.
And heaped it, no less.
I don't know if, I thought I heard a countdown. I don't know if that sped her up a little bit, but easily could have moved that ball another 2 or 3 times and still gotten a look.
We'll take a look at that ball going out of bounds just to verify run right there off of Wilson's foot.
1 second left. Here's another rule. All right, look. Dusty says once the restricted rule's in place, he'll be happy. No, you know what's next?
Oh.
This one. This one will be next. Tell me I'm wrong.
Dane knows his guy. Dane knows his guy. 17 years.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. The lowest level of organized basketball, you can't advance the ball.
1920 rules in 2022.
We've got guys making $50 million a year. They can advance the ball to the other side of the floor.
Yeah.
But you've got high school players that now have to launch it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. I got it for you. Dusty's agenda, not agenda, that's a bad, I don't mean it like agenda, right?
Yeah.
But like his notes that he's trying to work through for the betterment of the game. The next one is advanced.
Two people you need on your side. Someone like Dane Stewart. Find yourself a friend like Dane Stewart that knows you, supports it, and when you don't realize what he keeps saying, last thing I want, you're right. There's always one more.
There's always one more, right?
Don't know where it is after that.
Well, we still have a couple years to get to that, right? It takes a while to work through the list.
Only took me 3 years to get 3 officials.
Took a while to get shot clock.
Forever.
Yeah, that's been a while.
1 second left. We're destined for overtime unless there's some heroics.
I like this. If I'm Lone Peak, someone on the ball, everyone else back. I have no interest.
And not going to get it off. We are going to overtime in the 6A state championship game. All tied up at 54. Lone Peak, Fremont, free basketball. You're watching the 2022 6A Girls State Championship on KSLSports.com. Game. It'll be Mendelson and Bartholomew jumping up here in the extra frame. And we'll start with Fremont. Allie Coombs. Ashley Oliver, Tamia Gardner, Maggie Mendelson, and Mia Austin on the floor for Coach Lisa Daleabout. The McDonald's All-American gets space and kiss it off the window.
How about 19 for Gardner, 22 for Mendelson? Been a game for the last in their careers.
Ika chased off the three, kissed it off the glass, no.
Again, you see Gardner coming over on the help. Little quicker release, trying to get that over.
Well, now Lone Peak can get a taste of their own medicine here. Down 2 and foul trouble. But no, it's going to be Gardner going right at Nawahine and out of bounds off of Tewila. And we will stay here. And that's not a switch now, Nawahine.
No. When we talk about the depth, it's going to be tested for Lone Peak. And Tewila having to step up, makes another defensive play.
Ahead to Woolston. Leaves it to Nordstrom, blocked by Oliver, but there's a foul. And it'll be number 4 on Oliver, and it'll be Shawnee Nordstrom going to the line, looking to tie the game at 56.
I was surprised Kaylee passed that. I thought she had a lane to take the shot, but felt like maybe had a better look if she gave that away, and it draws the contact.
Shawnee Nordstrom for the night.
And Nordstrom hits the first. Shawnee's had an amazing year this year for Coach Warner. And a good run in the state tournament as well, the young sophomore. Hits them both, tied at 56. Nawahine again with Austin. Now Bartholomew on the switch. They go into Mendelson. The double comes from Woolston. Back out Gardner. Tamia down the lane around Woolston and lays it in.
They got the switch on that previous screen, and I was surprised that Tamia terminated, but they go right back to it. And again, Bartholomew, if you want to stay in this game, you have very little you can do on that drive.
And Bartholomew with 4 fouls. Didn't want to give up the 5th. Lone Peak down 2. Fremont in his zone. High post to Woolston. Kaylee goes out to Nordstrom. Shawnee off on the 3. Rebound taken by Ika. Nawahine back up top to McKaylee. Woolston at the high post gets around. Mendelson, no call on the contact, and he'll be out of bounds, and we'll stay here with Lone Peak. We'll see the tape.
Boy, great athleticism there by Gardner. That one just comes back on her. And one of those where your reflex is almost too quick. Ends up hurting you.
Ika goes into Bartholomew. And Sarah Bartholomew lays it in.
Nice screen on the inbound play. Bartholomew able to come back to the weak side.
Tied up at 58. Gardner sends out Mendelson. Got Nawahine with no backside help there to Tamia. Coach Dana says, stay there. She's telling her to sit back. Just like we saw at the end of the
Where's the
quarter.
booing now from the Fremont? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist. We said if it was role reversal,
Yes.
right? And we just got our answer.
No shot clock in Utah high school
And here's
basketball.
the thing. Look, if you're Fremont and you score a bucket, do you really want to give Lone Peak a look at a 3 to win it? The answer's no. So, I get it.
Yeah. We'll see where and if Coach Taylor Bout will take a timeout. We saw this about 26 seconds, the timeout to Lone Peak. And what has been an absolute heavyweight bout.
Everything you'd expect from a 1 versus a 2.
Absolutely. A 10-point lead to Fremont. They never cough up 10-point leads. And Lone Peak came all the way back and took leads in this game. 20 seconds now. Each team with 2 timeouts. Down to 15. No one's going to go through 30, right? But they're not going to take a timeout. Double horns. Tamia Gardner with 9. Gardner with 8. Gardner won't get it. Middleton with the board. Cross off the back. That one's up, and we are going to double overtime.
3 great looks from your 2 best players. 1 really good look. I love this. Tamia, attack. And look, that's a nice job by Kayla, but Tamia doesn't get a really great look. My apologies. How about Maggie? You see Bartholomew straight up. I'm not moving. Makes it tough. Try to use the window, but not enough.
5 frames won't do it. How about a 6th? We're coming back in the 6A state championship. Double overtime. Lone Peak and Fremont.
And Sarah Bartholomew.
Feels like we were just here 4 minutes ago. Well, we were. The second extra frame. And we got 2 more championship games coming up after this one. And we start with Fremont, just like we did in the first OT. And the way we close the first OT. Oliver out to Austin. Mia, first 3 of the day.
Is that our first 3 of the day?
First field goal.
Yeah.
So 3-point lead now to Fremont. High post Woolston. Kaylee, fall away. Rolls it in. Oliver outside to Austin. Goes inside Mendelson. Maggie. That got away from the double team. Mendelson forced it up. No. Rebound to Woolston. Chance to take the lead ahead to Nordstrom. Shawnee. Cross up the defender. Got it to go!
Nordstrom. What a drive. Felt like was being pushed wide. Really good job there. Taking away the initial lane, but
Maggie +1. The foul to Nawahine.
so tough. Look, I think Nawahine has done a great job in the block against some of these posts from Fremont. But that time gets caught with the arm coming down.
Number 3, Kelly.
How about this from Nordstrom?
This is a great shot.
Timeout, Lone Peak.
Timeout the Knights, 2:45 left. And just 30-second timeout. And if you, this is as good as it gets in girls basketball. Back and forth. Mendelson, Dana, I mean, we talked about this summer. She was on the junior national team, and we talked to Coach Staley about it. She said she realized she was a basketball player. She thought she was a volleyball player, and then she said, go to that junior national team, gets her great coaching, and this summer gave her so much confidence. She realized how good she was or is at basketball.
You know, the other thing that I feel like I see in Maggie more this year than other years, the fire. I feel like in previous years she was out there, but this year she's a competitor. I mean, she missed those shots, and she comes off, and you can just see it. I missed it, right? Like that fire, that drive, that hunger. I feel like I've seen that just in bunches from Maggie this week and in past years. She wanted to win, but not at that level, not at that intensity.
Well, she was in a deferred position with Calvert and Gardner.
Right.
Is at the line, and she has been perfect from the strike. 7 of 7, and the curse is real as Gardner knocks out of bounds, and lucky for Tamina to pick up her third foul. Remember, Mendelson with 4 fouls. But how about Mendelson and Gardner combining for 45 points? As Mendelson does come off the floor with those 4 fouls.
Yep.
Woolston with 26 leading the way for Lone Peak, but it has been the 11 points from Nordstrom, absolutely huge. The 9 from Nawahine in the second half, all from 3, have been ginormous.
And her defensive contribution as well.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't have a ton of blocks or those sort of numbers. She does have good contests.
Ika with the flyby. It hits the 3.
We mentioned earlier, Dusty, 47% beyond the arc. That's on 60 attempts. And it hits a big one.
Timeout taken by Fremont. As it's McKaylee Ika knocking down a 3. A huge bucket. And Dane, it wasn't a clean look initially either.
Well, I love the hesitation, right? You get defender in the air, and she's a whole, 5'8"? And you've got Tamia Gardner selling past you. That's great confidence there by Ika to be able to drill that 3.
Timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. Double overtime in the girls 6A championship game. .2:12 left in double overtime and a 2-point lead for the Lone Peak Knights, looking to stay undefeated or complete an undefeated season and knock off the reigning champions. Bartholomew got around and knocked that ball away. Gardner got it back. Tamia hangs. And Bartholomew is out of the game. That's her 5th personal foul. And Sarah Bartholomew will be out, as it'll be Tamia Gardner at the line, looking to tie the game at 65.
You know, I kind of felt like in normal circumstances, she probably would have been called for the reach a little bit earlier than that. You know, state championship, you kind of allow some allowance before calling that 5th. You kind of use it, right? The cat only has 9 lives, and after live 8, it's like, all right. And she gets called, and I think, look, heck of an effort. She picked up her 4th with 6:30 to go in the 4th.
Right.
And has gone 2 overtime periods, closed out regulation. It's been good contribution from her, but now Lone Peak's really going to have to hunker down.
The best moment, I talk about seeing girls grow up this week. Bartholomew, when Kaylee Rich came in, as Gardner hits them both, tied at 65, she stopped her and gave her a talk before she left. Just pumping her up. And that's a sophomore. We still haven't seen Tondavasa come back. I don't remember her picking up her 5th.
I don't think she has.
And again,
Here we go.
Remember no shot clock.
All right, now Fremont, you cannot boo this. Do we need to go back 4 minutes ago?
Well, in the foul situation, why would you want to go to another possession?
No, I know, but I'm just
I agree with
you just did it.
Yeah. This just happened with Coach Dale about saying, all right, we're going to go this way. As Ika is going to reverse back out, and Lone Peak going to take it down for a final shot. Again, without Bartholomew, the lone real true post left for Lone Peak
is Rich.
Yeah, is Rich, unless Tondavasa, I don't remember picking up their 5th. Verbo could have. There's been a lot happening in this game. The comeback from the Lone Peak Knights down double digits to get the game to overtime. They held it for the last 3.5 minutes of regulation. And now the exact same situation being tied as we go under a minute left in double overtime.
By the way, Olympus fans are here, and if you're looking to purchase white bed sheets today, you won't find any. They're all here in the Olympus student section.
Much like when we did the Last Chance baseball tournament. There was no Ethernet cable left in Utah County. We owned it all. Still own it. 65 seconds left inside of 40 seconds to go on double OT. Lone Peak, we mentioned, undefeated on the year. Kaylee Wilson, 26.6 boards leading the way for the Knights. 3 threes in the second half for Nawahine. Ika, who just drew rain and net. The play of the game is 65. And Shawnee Nordstrom also an outstanding three-point shooter as well.
Here's the other brilliance. Mendelson's off the floor because they were playing offense, defense.
And now it's not taking the timeout either. Shawnee Nordstrom sent out Ika. McKaylee. Lone Peak with the shot. McKaylee Ika. The timeout will be granted to Lisa Dalebelt. But McKaylee Ika, just like the semis, hits the shot to send Lone Peak. There will be time put back on the clock. What a shot from McKaylee Ika. As we'll take a look at it.
I think there's going to be about 1.2, but how about that? You see the hard closeout by Gardner, and Ika able to recognize the opportunity. I thought that shot was going to be long. It was so high off the glass. But man, McKaylee, what a shot. Woo. Talk about memorable games for Ika, huh? Semis, championship. She hit the big-time threes. Man.
When you think about end of regulation, she had the shot at 3. We thought she forced it. She gets it in double overtime. Kisses it off the glass. And Lone Peak up 67-65.
Half a second.
Half a second, and it would be for the win.
I was thinking there was about 1.2, but I couldn't. I mean, don't put that on record.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we don't have a shot with Lisa Dalebelt in screen. And it's when it's granted, not when it's called.
Right,
remember that.
Right.
When it's
and
granted.
there's no review to determine when that is. So officials are programmed. Signal, clock. That's what it is.
Well, it's going to take a 3.
Like they're robots. They're trained. Trained.
Maggie Mendelson will come back on. Well, she'll be the one to inbound. To try to get it down, I imagine, to Tamia Gardner, looking for a Christian Leitner play to send it to triple overtime.
Lone Peak almost had 6 players on. Ika recognized late, ran off.
Mendelson. And now Wahine touches it, and that's it. Undefeated season for Lone Peak. The Knights are the queens of 6A basketball. They took on the best, Dane, and they beat them in double OT.
What a game. Did not know if they'd have enough to deal with the posts of Fremont, and they scrapped and they found a way. Big-time shooting, timely shooting, and some big defensive plays as Lone Peak takes that next step to a state championship.
To Fremont, an end of an era. An absolute end of an era. Tamia Gardner, quite possibly the best. We'll see what she does. Williams is probably the most accomplished women's basketball player in the history of the state of Utah. But a great run. Tamia Gardner going to go to the McDonald's All-American game. Maggie Mendelson, the growth from Maggie, unreal. And the coach Lisa Dalebelt, one of our absolute favorites, one of our most trusted people that we cover. An amazing year for Fremont. Their only loss in-state comes right here at the hands of the Lone Peak Knights, who complete an undefeated season and are the 6A champs. What a year for Nancy Warner and her group. Dane, your final thoughts on the selection of a Heidemann and Associates player of the game?
Look, certainly feel for Tamia, Maggie, such a strong team. They were top 25 in the country all year long. But today, I mean, the team that was Lone Peak, The outside shooting, Kaylee finishes with 26, Ika 15, Nawahine 9. The second half turnaround, and give a lot of credit to the post defense. It made timely stops when they needed to, and the Lone Peak Knights turning one of the biggest upsets of the year.
Absolutely unreal. Congratulations to Nancy Warner and the Lone Peak Knights, your queens of 6A basketball, and to Fremont. An amazing year, an amazing run. We wish nothing but the best to Tamia, Gardner, and Maggie Mendelson and crew. At least at the end of it, she knows how much we love and respect her. But to Nancy Warner and Lone Peak, what a year. What a season. What a game. What fights from these ladies. Congratulations to the Lone Peak Knights, your 2022 Queens of 6A basketball with a 67-65 win. We'll keep the stream up to allow you to enjoy the cutting down the nets. Check out our profiles. We'll be coming out with interviews with Coach Warner and players. But again, congratulations to Lone Peak, the 2022 6A state champions of the state of Utah. For Vince Francis, Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 6A Girls State Tournament on KSLSports.com, your home for online championships.